messed that up in true, channel fashion, but here we are. That's the important part, I guess. At least my guitar sounded like it was in tune. I was really nervous doing that, Jesus. I don't know, I'm nervous about this whole album, to be honest. I've been nervous about it. It's been hard to make this one. Just to like kind of bring myself in front of the camera, because it's, what is it? I guess it's the biggest metal album, right? I don't think there's anything bigger than this. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm nervous about it because, here I come, expressing my opinions about, this humongous album, I barely even know how to play the riffs of it anyways. But I hope you guys enjoy it nonetheless. Yeah. Let's remember that music is subjective and all that stuff. And yeah, let's just get into it. You guys can see that I'm scared, right? I don't know, I shouldn't be scared. I don't know, it's like being used to living in a town that, has buildings that are, 5 stories tall or less, and then going into New York and being faced with skyscrapers. It's like, it's scary. Not that that's a scary experience, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Anyways, as I kind of hinted at before, well, hold on, let's start with some water first, and then some kind of background here. And just to kind of set the scene, as I'm sure most of you guys know, the previous album, And Justice for All, 1988, was, quite successful. If we're comparing it to Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, the one music video kind of made it, onto MTV, I think. And I like that music video a lot. Yeah, moderate success and all that, but with this album, whether you want to call it Metallica self-titled Black Album, I'm going to call it the Black Album for most of this, I think. Although the title is going to be different, I just wanted to make it a little more official. But with the Black Album, the band got Bob Rock as a producer. I'm not going to say they wanted to make it into the mainstream, but they wanted to make a difference. I don't think they would have hired Bob Rock if they wanted to keep doing the same exact style of thrash metal that we've been getting for 3 albums. And probably if this was like 1993 or something, I would say this is really a shame and all that, like, what a change in direction. But time has passed and history has passed and all that, and thankfully I can look at this album a little more objectively, because I feel like at the time I would have been upset about the change in direction, but because so much time has passed, because I have that happy ending, not to spoil anything, but I definitely like the direction of Death Magnetic and Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I can look at these more, and this applies more to Load and Reload, but I can look at these 90s albums more objectively and more as something of their own, and not, oh, this is where the band is going. I hope that makes sense. Still, I'm going to be as objective about my opinion as I can, so objective about my subjectivity as I can, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe it's just being subjective, I'm not sure. But I hope you guys get what I mean. I'm going to try and be as honest as possible, I guess. And yeah, just, obviously this album has a different sound, a different direction, definitely not in comparison to Load and Reload, but, it's not a sequel to And Justice for All per se. It's not a sequel in the same way that, you know, Master of Puppets was a sequel to Ride the Lightning and Justice for All to Master of Puppets. You know, yeah, there's a number 4 ballad, which we'll get into later, but there's no instrumental. The opening song isn't really the Metallica opener we've come to expect, at least not in my opinion. You know, all that stuff. And there's 12 songs on this, I think, if not 11. I think it's 12. Rather than 8. Some of the songs are shorter. So yeah, definitely a change in direction, but it definitely propelled them into stardom, so good on them and stuff. And it's not a bad album. Like, it's not, in my opinion, it's not a sellout album, because some songs on here are good, you know. I mean, I'll get into it. I can understand why people would have seen this as a sellout album back in the day, but I don't see it as such. And yeah, maybe if you look at it at face value, it can kind of seem like that. Oh, it's got Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters, you know. Of course, it's you know, the mainstream album or whatever, but you know, although it is probably Metallica's most mainstream album, I still think that if you dive into it and give the whole album a chance, you know, it's got some bangers on there, I would say. And you know, the new producer and probably the new equipment and stuff they used helped them achieve like a pretty heavy sound in some points. Yeah, I forgot there was something like, yeah, they like doubled the rhythm, or they put an extra guitar in there or something like that. There was something about that, like a thickener, I think it was called. Anyways, the album sounds great, and I'm glad it's also receiving a remaster this year sometime, but I'd say it almost doesn't need it. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to change my mind once I hear the remaster, but it's a great sounding album. Also, a remaster isn't really a remix, so a remaster would only make the quality better, I guess. So there you go. Anyways, let's get into it, I guess. As I kind of teased before, the album starts off with the extremely iconic, intro. I kind of abridged it a little bit, like shortened it, but just to give you the idea. It's an iconic intro, no matter how you spin it. That being said, doesn't mean I like it. I like some aspects of it, for example, like in the clean little part. And throughout the whole intro, I just like the drums kind of building up on the toms. And I like the escalation in terms of, first it's... Sorry. And then I also like this little added power chord here. Really makes the whole thing for me go from cheesy to heavy, which is great. Also, I guess it's like a tension builder for when the riff finally explodes into... That being said, so I like the slowly building up drums and guitars. That's cool. That's heavy. I like this power chord here. But once the riff explodes into the main, super known riff around the world, it starts to get a little cheesy for me. And you're going to hear cheesy a lot. You've heard it a little bit in Kill 'Em All. You're going to hear it some more today. That's just the word I use for these kinds of occasions. I hope you guys know what I mean by it. Because I don't know how to clarify it. But, yeah. This is the whole explosion into the... It's cheesy to me. Maybe because it's overplayed. Maybe because I don't know what. But it's just like... I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like... I don't know, a little kid thinking he's cool or something. I hate to sound so harsh, but yeah. That being said, the drums are... anyways, no, not really. I like the verse riff. that I kind of was playing before. Not just because, but you know, it also has this power chord that I always seem to like. It also works pretty well with the vocals, even though I think those are a little cheesy too, but it's okay. Not that cheesy, they're fine. I do like the vocals in the chorus though. Before that, the pre-chorus is cool. I think it's like, and then it goes into, you know, and that's cool. I don't know, I like how it's incorporated into the song. And even this is a cool riff by itself, I'd say. You know, cool, not amazing, not awesome to me, but cool. I like this little thing here. The vocals in the pre-chorus are cool. Wait, let me think. Yeah, the vocals in the pre-chorus are cool. The vocals in the chorus are a bit cheesy to me again. The whole chorus is pretty cheesy, unfortunately for me. Main riff again, you know, the explosion one, still cheesy to me. Wow, I'm so harsh in my notes. I said the Kirk solos at the background of verse 2 are also boring. The rest is cool. I like the backing vocals during verse 2. It's kind of like an evolution of verse 1 with the backing vocals. Kind of makes it, I don't know, like, yeah, as I said, like an evolution, escalation, whatever you want to call it. I like the slide into the second chorus from the pre-chorus. There's a little like guitar slide. My opinions about those two parts remain the same though. The solo's pretty cool. I gotta say, like, yeah. I didn't like the last sort of bit of it, like the last like 20% of the solo, but I liked how it ended, like the very last notes. And then we go into the bridge from there, which is okay. You know, I think it's got, it's got like the little kid, you know, saying stuff. And then I like the drums again. I think he's back on the toms. Or no, is it a kid or is he whispering? Something like that. But I like when James comes in with this sort of distorted voice. I think he says like, "Hush, little baby, don't say a word," or something. I like his voice there. But I said I hate how it goes back into the third chorus. Cheesy AF, in my opinion. So yeah, basically, it seems like I've got something against this song. I don't know, it's just not the kind of mood I usually like in songs, and not the kind of mood I usually like from Metallica. The ending is okay. It's almost cheesy, but then just like he rides the line between being cheesy and okay, and it becomes okay. It brings the riff from the intro. It brings the riffs, the like teasing, I call them riffs, you know, the stuff like that. It brings those back a little bit in the background, which I like that touch. The drums are really cool. Lars is crashing everywhere, and then the song kind of fades out. So, not the best way to start for me. I mean, okay, for me, I knew the song, I knew what was coming, so I kind of braced myself and all that, but if I had heard this in 1991, I would have been devastated, I think. Or rather, I would have been crossing my fingers for the next song. You know, hopefully it's just this one, stuff like that. But, you know, in terms of my review in 2021, you know, I knew I wouldn't like it. I braced myself. You know, it has elements that I like the whole, that I keep mentioning, the verse riff, some vocals, but I don't have this in my Metallica playlist. I don't really like to listen to the song. I would skip it if it came up and stuff, so the album doesn't start the greatest for me. But let's keep it going. And you know what? Okay, I'm gonna make a stupid joke, but it's, I hate to sound so harsh, but the sad truth is that I need to be honest, and that's sad but true. Anyways, we get on to Sad But True, which I'm not going to play because it's in a different tuning, and I don't know. Anyways, I'll play it anyway, but it's in a different tuning. So there's a cool intro. I actually like that intro a lot. The drums are nice in it. And I don't know, it's just got a vibe to it, it's like, I don't know. It's very hard to describe, and it's a very specific mood that I wasn't really able to find in many other places. It's like hopeless or something, I don't know. Which I guess fits the title of the song, right? Sad But True. So I like the intro a lot. But I really, really don't like how it stops. There's the silence, and then it's like... in a different tuning, obviously. I think it's D standard or something? Or D sharp, one of the two. I think it's D. Anyways, I don't know, man. Like, I used to love this song, actually. Credit to this song, because I was on a school trip in Krakow in Poland. Really cool place. I went to see the concentration camps as well, which was really eye-opening and stuff. But Krakow, a really nice city, and this was a song that introduced me to the band. At the time, I was like, I don't know. I listened to a lot of Megadeth, and I just didn't have the energy to get into Metallica. I knew I would like it. It was just a matter of like time before I felt like I could start on a new journey, so to speak. And yeah, I was at the Hard Rock Cafe there with my class, and they don't really play that much metal, like metal at the Hard Rock Cafe, but they did play Sad But True, and I recognized James Hetfield. I was like, whoa, this riff is really heavy, super cool and stuff like that. And that kind of got me into the band, started getting me into the band. So credit to this song, because it managed to get them a new fan, as I'm sure it managed to get them a ton of new fans, right? And credit to that riff, because that was what got me into it. But now, maybe I listen to the song too much, or I don't know what, but it feels like that riff is a little bit, to me, it feels like that riff is a little bit overrated by the band. Like, they think it's, and they do, they say it in live shows, like, you want something heavy, blah, blah, blah. Like, guys, you have heavier songs than Sad But True, I would argue, I understand it's tuned down and stuff, but like, what about the thing that should not be? That's a little heavier, I would say. Anyways, I understand why they do it. It's the heaviest of their very recognizable songs, right? I'm not trying to, criticize the band or anything. I'm trying to critique the album, but not criticize the band, right? What I'm trying to say is, I feel the sort of energy of, oh, this is the heaviest thing in the world, in this song, and maybe in 1991 it might have been really heavy, but we have heavier bands now, and I don't know. I think Metallica has heavier songs in their repertoire. I don't know. Basically, I don't like this riff, and what makes it worse for me, what makes it cheesy, is how they think, or it seems like they think, that it's the heaviest thing in the world, so they really tease it like, oh man, and then boom, I don't know. I hate to be so mean and stuff, but I'm trying to be honest. So yeah, I like the intro a lot. The drums are also good, and then once it goes, it's like, that being said, like, objectively, it's a cool riff. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I understand that it's a cool riff. This is just my very subjective opinion on it. The verse riff is cool, kind of showing the importance of silence. Again, the silence, that whole silence was also important, because it made it made that main riff cheesier to me. Just like in the verse riff, let me think about how it went. Yeah, in the verse riff, if you guys remember, there's a little silent bit, and that really makes it nice for me, really makes the riff for me. It's like, those aren't the right notes, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to reference here. And the lyrics sound interesting. I'm not sure exactly what they're about, but they sound interesting. I like the words that are being said, and the vocals are cool. I don't mind the verse, it's nice. I don't really like the hey, hey, but aside from that, it's okay. Like, I like it. And everything that I said gets even better in the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is my favorite part of the song by far. Same with the intro. Like, those two parts give that same mood to me, and I really like that. I also like the lyrics in the pre-chorus. The vocals are great. And then once we get to the chorus, same opinion. I prefer that riff with vocals. It's actually much better, much less cheesy to me. But still, let's see here. Same thing, verse, chorus, pre-chorus. There's a very interesting little transition from the second chorus to the bridge. Oh man, I really like that. Actually, no, that's my favorite part of the song. Same mood as pre-chorus and intro. Yeah, I think it's like a sort of modified version of the intro, I guess. And there's some really beautiful lead parts with some nice power chords. That's a very emotional bridge. I don't know, the bridge really saves the song for me, actually. It's, as I said, it's heavy and emotional, and the highlight of the whole album for me so far. And then we have that same sort of transition to an okay solo, an average solo. I didn't like that at all. I mean, not at all. I liked it a bit, but, Kirk has definitely done better in my opinion. And, it's the same riff in the background, which doesn't do it any favors for me. It just doesn't work for me most of the song. But I love how the solo brings us into a modified pre-chorus, which again I liked. And there's a modified chorus with another fine solo, not like another average kind of solo. Wow. And then I said, verse 3, I'm sleeping. Wow, was I savage twice in a row? I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, apparently I'm sleeping in verse 3. I wasn't actually sleeping, but I think I was just bored with the song. See, this is why I was nervous, because I feel so bad. These are massively successful songs, and I'm just like, I don't know. Just don't take it as me thinking my opinion is truth. It's just, I understand it's irrational. I'm just saying what I feel, so to speak. And if there's someone out there that agrees, cool. If there's someone out there that disagrees, cool, kind of thing. I don't know. I just don't want to sound arrogant. I hope I don't sound like that. Then we have another pre-chorus and a chorus, which I preferred because the vocals were changed up. And the drums were changed up, and the vocals are also really nice. There's more crashes by the drums. And the ending is serviceable. So, as a start of the album, Sad But True had some highlights, like the bridge, I'd say, is definitely like a big, probably the first thing in this album that I actually liked a lot, that I would go back and listen to. But the rest, I don't know, just had that overall cheesy vibe to me. I wasn't a fan, basically. And it sucks because, the previous, maybe not Kill 'Em All, but Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All had perfect beginnings, which gave me so much energy and really got me primed for the rest of the album. But this wasn't the case. I was already, feeling the time passing a lot, so to speak. And we're two out of 12 songs in, so not the best beginning. But we can go on to Holier Than Thou, which isn't a song I really paid attention to. It's far up on the album, so, you know, interesting spot to put it. And I definitely think it was needed because it's almost like the opener that never was kind of thing, right? Like, it has that energy. And it starts with that energy right out of the gate. Let me actually check here. Yeah. It's like, sorry, I can't play. With some lead stuff in the background. You know, the pace is quick, real fast. And after those two songs, it seems like a godsend. You know, I was finally, well, once the intro was over, I was headbanging, you know, once the main riff kicked in. But before you get into that, interesting bass in the intro, nice lead parts, and like, just as I was saying, a great change of pace. You know, it was like, oh, okay, you know, kind of thing. I don't know why I made that so theatrical, but yeah, it kind of explodes into the main riff. I said headbanging material for sure. Finally, I'm saying that right. I like this song. It's a really hard riff to play, actually, in my opinion, but I like that riff a lot, and they play it like twice as fast, and the drums are great at keeping the pace. You know, it's headbang material for sure. I like the verse riff a lot, and the transition to it. I think it's like, and then the vocals come in, and it just keeps going. And then it's like, and that's the chorus. I like how the song kind of connects there, and it's not working with very many riffs, but all of the riffs are really efficient and linked to each other really well. This has many sort of versions of it. There's like a sort of an open power chord thing that gives space for the vocals. Like a faster version that kind of is more of like a let's focus on the riff and headbang. It's cool. It's a versatile couple riffs, and they really use them properly, in my opinion. I was very pleasantly surprised by this song. I never properly listened to it. I'd seen some live performances, but you know, when you see, I don't know. I couldn't really remember it. I really like the vocals. I really like the vocals in this song. The chorus is really catchy, really energetic. Great vocals again. You know, I love when he says holier than thou. He sort of makes the thou really cool. By he, I mean James, obviously. You know, verse 2, pre-chorus, or verse 2, chorus 2. I don't even think there's a pre-chorus in this song. Is there? I'm not sure. Drums, as I was saying, drums are also very energetic, keeping the tempo really nicely and keeping you bobbing your head at least when you're not headbanging. And then there's a fast and unexpected transition to an awesome bridge with a super cool harmony part. I really forgot about this part. But it's really beautiful. It kind of has some Justice vibes to it, you know, not the song, but the album for sure. Like Justice vibes mixed with Black Album vibes. I don't know. I really like that little part, and if you hear how it ends, it's really pretty. Actually kind of reminded me of Avenged Sevenfold a little bit in the ending. Maybe you know, I know Metallica is one of their influences, but what I'm trying to say, it's a really, really beautiful part. The highlight of the song for sure. Like, that's why I'm gonna go back and listen to this song at least a couple more times, if not a few. So, you know, great part, super thumbs up from me, really caught me by surprise. The solo is split kind of into two parts. The first one's okay. The second part is a lot cooler. It's like got the main riff in the background. And then, you know, only the bass is playing the main riff, like guitars are silent, which is really cool. Speaking of the bass, you can hear the bass a lot. Obviously, of course, compared to Justice for All, but the bass has a really good tone in this album. And I guess it's the first time we properly hear Jason Newsted and his sort of picking style, which is nice. Then the guitars kind of come back. We have another chorus. And, you know, they that whole thing doesn't really take long. Like, they basically kind of ended on that harmony. You know, they have that beautiful harmony, they have the solo, really quick, you know, come back in for a chorus, and then they end it. So I would say they ended it on a high note for sure. I love that ending. Let me see. Oh yeah, that was my favorite song of the album so far, for sure. I mean, as you saw, I didn't like the beginning very much. Very underrated song. I don't hear people talking about the song, but it's nice. They didn't waste, as I was kind of doubting, they didn't waste any time with pre-choruses or anything. They just kind of like got those two fast riffs and went for it and created some really beautiful stuff. So props to them. And yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. I really like that song. It really caught me off guard. And then after that, we're gonna slow down again. With this. Sorry. Oh my god. Right, the Unforgiven comes back in. Sorry for messing that up a little bit, but the Unforgiven comes in. And you know, I knew what to expect. I can't pretend I went into this blind, and I already loved the song. So I was kind of waiting for it, but you know, it's beautiful every time. You know, super iconic intro. The intro solo is really beautiful. You know, kind of referencing the number 4 ballad, you know, classic number 4 ballad structure, you know, with a clean riff and then an intro solo, kind of a slower intro solo. The rest of the song doesn't really follow that structure, but still, I like the solo. I love how the way the drums come in during the solo. That's really good, actually. I said emotional stuff even. And then, you know, this guitar really doesn't do it justice, but, you know, I can try and do like a more classical version of it. You know, there's this verse riff. Sorry. I don't know, man. That verse riff is really emotional to me, especially played, you know, how you're supposed to play it on an electric. It's just like, it's like a riff that's crying. I don't know, man. I really like that riff. And it's helped a lot, of course, by the vocals, which kind of follow those notes, right? Which is cool. I love the vocals in the song, and I love the lyrics. This is actually one of the first songs I ever kind of sat down to analyze the lyrics of. thanks to my guitar teacher who kind of helped me do that, and that really changed my perspective on lyrics and all that stuff. So it also holds a special place in my heart. But not only for that, also because the lyrics really, not to get deep or anything, but like really connected with me. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell my life story, but they really connected with me. And I think James told the story very well, or like told the lyrics very well. Like basically they're really well written is what I'm trying to say. Like he delivered that message very beautifully. So, you know, 2 thumbs up for the lyrics, thumbs up for the vocals, thumbs up for the riffs and the drums and everything. So I'm loving it so far. In fact, I said chills all over the place in my notes. The pre-chorus is also quite emotional, you know. It's helped by the lyrics and that emotion, but still, you know, I like the, I don't know, kind of descending little pattern, and then these, because of the production and also because of, I don't know, other stuff, but you know, they really make those power chords sound really powerful. And then we get onto the chorus, which is probably the most boring part of the song for me, but it's still really good. 1 second, I think I have to sneeze. No, I'm good. Yeah. I like it, you know. Anyways, I'm not gonna play the whole song. And the vocals are still beautiful. They did this thing where like they had the verse be very heavy and the chorus be very ballady, which I think is the opposite of what they used to do, which is a neat sort of, I don't know, little fact. And I think it works a lot. I love the heavy verses and clean chorus. You know, it works. You know, again, beautiful second verse. I even said tear jerking. I don't know if I was exaggerating there, but you know, that's what I was feeling at the time. So, same with the second pre-chorus. Second chorus is also nice, but I wanted to move on to the parts of the songs that are really emotional to me. I also think the lyrics, I don't know, I prefer the lyrics in the verses and pre-chorus than the ones in the chorus. Still though, I'm being a little critical, but you know, let's be critical. Then there's a nice little clean solo section to get into it. Then there's that super iconic solo with, you know, all that story behind it of Bob Rock really, you know, pushing Kirk to his limits. And it's a nice story to have behind it, and the solo is, you know, became something iconic and awesome that I really like. It's almost cheesy, but not, you know, it's not cheesy, don't worry. But, yeah, manages to stay out of it completely because of, I don't know, because of the beautiful phrasing by Kirk. I don't know, he takes you in many places with that solo, and it's cool. It's cool. I like it a lot. Then we get into chorus 3. I was starting to get bored of the choruses, but it's okay. There's like a little harmony, which is really beautiful. And then a very long ending, I think, with just the chorus in the background. But there are some added guitars and stuff in the background, and the vocals keep changing, and the drums are crashing everywhere. And that makes the whole thing actually really good. Like, I didn't mind it. I was starting to get bored of the choruses with the same lyrics, but you know, with those added kind of emotional guitars and the drums changing up and the vocals kind of escalating, you know, going from just saying like never free, never me, or something very calmly, to like when he shouts, you label me, I label you. I mean, I look forward to that part for sure. He really put some emotion into that line. Of course, James, we're talking about here. It really makes the whole part worthwhile, you know, worth being there for sure. I'm not, like, the song didn't overstay its welcome at all for me. In fact, I really like this song. Yeah, like it's a pretty timeless one for me. So good it spawned 2 sequels, right? So thumbs up for this song. Like, the album became calm again, but not in a bad way, so although the pace dropped, the quality was still in the same place, if not even higher. Also interesting that Dave Mustaine said this was the best thing they'd ever written. Totally unrelated, but I just think it's interesting. I feel like it's a very like big statement that he would say. Anyways, moving on. Oh yeah, moving on to. Sorry. I messed that up a lot, but there's so many little things to remember in that part. Anyways, you get the point. We move on to Wherever I May Roam, which now, like, while playing the riff, that kind of distracted me as well. I was thinking they do the same, like a little bit of the same thing as in Sad But True, right? It's like it plays clean, and then it's like, sorry. But there's a difference for me, and it's that I actually find this riff actually really heavy. So the whole like teasing it with the silence and the actually does like has its desired effect on me. Anyways, I didn't mean to sound harsh. I was just excited that I discovered something. So yeah, very interesting, clean intro. This whole song, I don't know if they're using a certain scale or what, but it kind of sounds like kind of Oriental or Egyptian or something. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm like some kind of weird kind of racist, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I really like that sound. The intro becomes distorted, super heavy in my opinion. As usual, I like playing when bands play with these 2 E's. Interesting that, it's like, so like this kind of E power chord, and then we have this kind of E power chord. It really works. It's hard to describe in words, but I hope you guys know what I'm trying to say. Really nice touch. So super heavy stuff. I'm headbanging all over the place. Maybe that's a little exaggerated. Maybe, no, that's how I was feeling at the time. So, take it or leave it. And then, as I kind of tried to do, there's a nice transition into the verse, right? And I really like the verse as well, right? Sorry. I don't know, super heavy to me. Of course, this isn't distorted, but the mix of the vocals and, in the end, it's that kind of interval still, even though the power chords are played kind of cleanly. It's the same kind of interval, and it just builds so much tension for me in a good way until, to kind of explosion. And James still stays calm during that part, almost, it seems like, which stays calm, but like the vocals kind of increase in intensity. I don't know, it's a really heavy part to me. I like it a lot. And the vocals and lyrics are really, really beautiful. Well, the lyrics aren't beautiful. Sorry, I was reading my notes. The vocals are amazing. The lyrics are interesting, right? I don't know exactly what it's about, but it seems like it's almost comparing the road and touring to like a partner. Like she keeps me satisfied. Like maybe, you know, the road gives him food and money and, you know, dopamine or whatever. Also gives him women. So keeps me she keeps me satisfied in that sense. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, really cool verse. Super heavy verses. How was the pre-chorus? Sorry. I completely forgot how the pre-chorus was. Okay, well, I said it was a relatively chuggy pre-chorus. Very cool, but I completely forgot it right now. Anyways, and then we go into the iconic chorus, right? So great stuff. Amazing verse 2. As I said sort of previously, they really know how to make those, in the Unforgiven, they really know how to make those power chords heavy. You know, like they really just made those super heavy. And I guess credit to Bob Rock or whoever, because it really worked. We get pre-chorus 2. There's an exotic sounding bridge into a slightly different second chorus, still really cool. Then we get a first solo, or a first section of the solo over the main riff, which is cool. And then the second and third, oh man, I love the second and third sections of the solo, where it kind of slows down. Has that very oriental / Egyptian / whatever you want to call it sound. Uses the wah, but in a really nice way, in my opinion, not overusing it. You know, the solo slows down in the second section, and then it gets back to speed in the third one, but really nicely. Oh, that was the pre-chorus. It's like... Okay, yeah, it is really cool. I finally remembered it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it gets back to the pre-chorus, and then a longer third chorus. Everything fits really well. And this, like the pre-chorus and third chorus, aren't, you know, making the song overstay its welcome or anything. It just feels like a very natural progression. So great stuff. The song fades out pretty much with another little lead part. And I definitely didn't notice that this was the second longest song on the album by like 5 seconds. So essentially the longest song on the album. Not really, but you get what I'm saying. It just flew by. And I'm just noticing now something Metallica's getting better at in this album. I guess they got a little better at it in Injustice for All, but not that much. Anyway, something Metallica's getting better at in this album is the songs aren't overstaying their welcome. You know, they're finding ways to just change the structure up so everything feels more like it fits and not like, okay, here's verse 3, you know. And they were already trying that in Ride the Lightning, but it didn't work as well as it worked here, in my opinion. Let's see. However, by this point, anyways, I'm not going to talk about being fatigued in this album because I was fatigued at this point, but I had some very heavy headphones on, and I've noticed that those really make my brain tired really quickly, so I can't really talk about that. I mean, I'll talk about it, but with this disclaimer. So by that point, I was fatigued. But the next song solved it, I'd say. Actually, not really. I was pretty much fatigued in the second half of this album, but let's disregard that and blame it on the headphones. It is a longer album, though, and it feels longer. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, we get on to Don't Tread on Me, which has a really interesting intro. I guess the song is about the US or something. So it's kind of like a patriotic marching band kind of intro, but it's cool and interesting and has a very interesting vibe. Yeah, and then the drums come in really, really nicely and just start setting the pace. Yeah, and I really like the riff that comes in. I think it's this one, right? Yeah. Sorry. And the drums come in this riff, and they really, I can't describe it, but they really just like set a really nice headbangy pace. Great stuff from Lars. Then we get into, we get into the verse riff, which I also found really cool. It was like... I really like that riff, and again, power chords are made really heavy by the production and the sound and the thickener and whatever. And I love James' vocals over this. Like, it kind of works with the chromatic escalation. The vocals also seem to escalate. I don't know, it's really cool. I like the verses a lot. Let's see, cool pre-chorus. And then I said an interesting and surprisingly kind of heavy chorus, because the notes seem almost happy, but it's somehow heavy, maybe because of the vocals or something like that. But I found the chorus really interesting. Not my favorite part of the song, but interesting and nice. Like I don't mind it. It's interesting. But the verses are definitely the highlight here. And that riff that I showed you guys previously. Again, pre-chorus 2, chorus 2. During the chorus, the drums are like keeping the tempo nicely and crashing where appropriate. I like the solo. It was interesting. Again, a lot of the stuff on the song is interesting. It's got a very unique mood. Really nice drum fill. And then the solo goes over the verse riff and becomes even more interesting, because you guys know my opinion on the verse riff of this song. The bridge riff is also interesting, again, and heavy. I like the bridge riff. Third chorus, third verse, and another chorus. I'm not complaining because I really like the verses. The drums are going crazy in the meantime. And there's this moment, I think in the last chorus. Yeah, I think in the last chorus, or maybe in all the choruses. Anyways, where James says, "Prepare for war." So like, prepare for war. And Lars crashes on all three of those syllables. So it's like, prepare for war, right? Crash, crash, crash. And I like that little touch there. And it ends really nicely. I like some of the riffs in that song. I like a lot. Other ones I find interesting, but this song is definitely a good one for me. Like, there's no part that I don't like. The whole mood is interesting. When the song is not interesting, it's interesting and heavy. And when it's not interesting and heavy, it's heavy. You know, so you can't go wrong. So, yeah, thumbs up. On to Through the Never, which has a kind of a fast, cool and fast intro, which is kind of reminiscent of Master of Puppets. You know, I really struggle to play it because my muscle memory is telling me Master of Puppets, but it's like, no, sorry. Oh my god. Stuff like that, played like 3 times as fast. I really like that intro, and the drums are great, and I'm headbanging, and it's cool. Yeah, I said slow headbang for the verse riff, which I really like. I don't know, it was an interesting change of sort of pace. And yeah, it goes something like, sorry, I'll play it slower. It's a lot faster than that, but I really like that verse riff and the vocals during this part. Putting the vocals there before and the whole solo-y bit is a nice touch. You know, it's like a classic Metallica touch, but in a completely new context, which I liked. It's cool. It's cool. Let's see. So, liking it so far. Something I really liked in the pre-chorus was how the drums slowly start increasing their pace. It was a great touch. Makes the whole pre-chorus for me, and the chorus just works. We have the intro riff as a sort of post-chorus. I also like the vocals in the chorus. Yeah. Again, slow headbang for verse 2, pre-chorus 2, and everything. I didn't like the solo because I didn't like the rhythm riff in the background of it, and I just didn't like the solo in general, unfortunately, which is a shame because the song was doing really well. The second section of the solo is slightly more interesting. The song kind of slows down, but still not my favorite work by Kirk, unfortunately. But then, you know, oh shit, there's a heavy bridge riff, which I liked a lot. So cool part afterwards. Again, slow headbang, and then, you know, chorus 3, post-chorus 3, good ending on a high note. So they didn't drag the song out more than it needed to be. They didn't go into a verse 3 and stuff like that, make it twice as long. So I liked the pace, I liked the ending. I didn't like the solo that much, but it's fine. Like, as a package, like, I like this song. I'd go back to it, no problem. And after all that heaviness and fastness and stuff, we have some more good pacing by Metallica to calm us down into into Nothing Else Matters. Anyways, yeah, I like the pacing. I like this beautiful, iconic. I mean, how did no one else think about it, you know? I don't know, it just seems so like, of course this is a beautiful, iconic, clean riff. I know my G string is out of tune a little bit, sorry. But it's that much of an iconic riff. One of those riffs where like, of course, like this was already written kind of thing, you know? And it works, and it's pretty beautiful. I like the little intro solo. there's like some strings or something. I think it's violins in the background, which really work to make the intro solo more beautiful. I like the lyrics, you know, they seem very personal, and I appreciate that, and very honest. I think this song wasn't supposed to go on the album. I think James just made it for his partner, and then they made it go on the album. I think. I'm not sure. I like the verse. The drums are really good in this song. You know, I liked Lars a lot in Justice for All because of how progressive he was and all the different grooves. And it seems like he brought that knowledge into this album, but slowed it down and kind of used it for like a bigger production, you know, making things sound big and stuff like that, and it works. And in this case, he really like reinforces the emotion of the song with some really slow, powerful drumming. Yeah, there's some backing vocals in the verse to kind of escalate the verses. The chorus is very emotional, although some lyrics are starting to sound a little cheesy to me. Like, forever trust in who we are, kind of, I don't know. I know what he's talking about, I don't know. Verse 2 is much shorter, which is interesting, and then we get into the second chorus, same thing, pretty emotional. And then there's a very beautiful harmony part, kind of based off of the intro, to start us off in the bridge. I like that little part. Drums are doing great again during this part. We get into another verse, but by this point, more and more orchestration or like instruments have started entering the song, and the more of those I hear, the more the song started going from like a lonely, you know, just James and his guitar, you know, singing about his girlfriend or whatever, to, I don't know, something a little too cheesy for me. So yeah, basically the more I had gone through the song, the more it was cheesy. Not only was the song escalating, but so was the cheesiness. Chorus 3, you know, same thing, even more. It's a cheesy sounding song, but objectively very nice. I don't deny that, you know, and I like that little thing. But yeah, I really wasn't liking the orchestration. Unfortunately. By the time you get to James's solo, although I really like that solo and I think it's well written and stuff like that, and I appreciate it and everything, the cheesiness had kind of done some irreversible damage where I was just very, very jaded to the song by that point. So yeah. And the ending, rather than being cool, which I objectively think it is a cool ending and very melodic and stuff, it just became cringeworthy, especially when it's just his vocals, you know, and he says forever trust in who we are again. I don't know, it just wasn't for me. It's not what I look for in metal, right? Or in music. So just my opinion, of course. Cool idea to bring back the intro at the end. But I was ready to move on from this song, unfortunately. And to be honest, of course I knew Nothing Else Matters, and I knew it was going to be on the album, and I knew it was next and everything, but I didn't remember it as being this cheesy. I think the live version, I think I'm used to the live version, which is a little less cheesy because there's no orchestration in the background and stuff. But yeah, I was a little disappointed by how cheesy it was to me. Yeah. But up next, we do have something that got me right back on track, which is A Wolf and Man, which I really like. I also like the S&M version, but anyways, we're not talking about S&M right now. Yeah, we get into we get into A Wolf and Man, which has a really awesome intro. You know, the riffs in the song are really cool. The lyrics are interesting. I mean, how was it? I really like those riffs. They're really heavy to me. I like the sort of gallop. I don't know. Really heavy to me. So thumbs up for those two riffs that I showed you. The drums are good, really setting a nice headbanging pace. Then the verse starts off. So the verse starts off with, I think, this riff, right? And there's cool vocals and stuff, nice backing vocals as well. And then this riff gets sort of taken over by this riff. Another little lead part over it, or like after that, which is interesting. But what's even more interesting is that after the chorus, the second verse just starts off with the takeover riff, right? The riff that took over the first verse. It just starts from there. So rather than starting... Rather than starting like that, like the first verse, it just starts right away with... And the reason why I'm spending so long talking about this little touch is maybe it's like the wolf taking over the man, or the man becoming a werewolf, or something like that. Like, maybe I'm probably overanalyzing this so much, but could that riff be the man, which midway through verse 1 gets taken over by the wolf? And that's why we're missing the first riff in verse 2. Could that be what they were trying to do? Probably not, but do with that what you will. Anyways, I thought it was a great touch, regardless of its meaning. I also really like the chorus. I like the lyrics and stuff, and the vocals and everything about it. I talked about verse 2. It's a little shorter, starts with that riff. Love that riff, so no complaints from me. Second chorus, also love it. I like the bridge, kind of building anticipation. I think it's like that. Builds anticipation and stuff. For a bit of a mediocre solo, unfortunately, which gets slightly better as it goes along, but I don't think it fits that much. I didn't really like it. Then the vocals come in and start building up, which I really like. I like those vocals and stuff. There's the howling, which is interesting. Another chorus, great stuff. And then a really chill-inducing ending to the whole song when James screams of wolf and man. Really like dragging out those words like wolf and man. And they end on that high note, which I really liked. I really liked that little ending. And the whole song, except for the solo, I really liked the whole song and the atmosphere and the lyrics. Really unique stuff. So thumbs up. Again, another really good song. You know, we get into the God That Failed, which has really cool lyrics again. This time really sad lyrics, right, about James' mother, you know, basically passing away because she didn't believe in, you know, conventional science and believed in sort of religious science or something like that. I don't know, I forgot the name of it exactly. Not that I want to make any statements about religion, just that's what James was talking about. he said so in an interview, so I'm merely a messenger. But yeah, starts with a really cool bass line by Jason Newsted. I like that beginning. There's some lead parts over it, which interestingly go from ear to ear if you're wearing headphones. Oh man, I love the way the guitars enter because, again, of Lars's drums really making everything sound powerful, you know. I don't have the right tuning, but it's something like... Sorry, I'm gonna try again. So, and every time there's a... First of all, it sounds really powerful. Second of all, there's a big crash on that E, and it really makes the whole riff really powerful. And so does the tuning, which I don't have. So thumbs up for me. Really headbangy stuff. And then we go into the verse riff, which is something like... Sorry. Something like that. I'm probably not playing the right notes. But, and of course, you know, crash, right. Crashes in really nice places. Really nice vocals. Everything kind of works really well. A heavy pre-chorus with really emotionally heavy lyrics. An emotional chorus, again with really emotional lyrics. Wait, how is the pre-chorus? Am I getting mixed up between the pre-chorus and the chorus? Let me think. No, the pre-chorus is the intro riff. What I meant was, yeah, a chorus with emotional lyrics. The riff isn't really that heavy, it's more the lyrics to do the job and the vocals. And it works. Then there's a post-chorus, which is the same as the pre-chorus, into verse 2, really heavy riffs again, pre-chorus 2. The pre-chorus, yeah, I talked about the awesome crashes in those pre- and post-choruses, which really increase the heaviness. There's no second post-chorus. Instead, there's a really cool tapping part by Kirk into a really awesome solo over some power chords in the main riff. And I'm writing my notes finally, because for a while I haven't really liked, for a while in the album, for like a couple songs at least, I thought Kirk's work was a little mediocre when it came to solos, but here he nails it. He nails it. The song is really long, goes over many riffs, and it's all awesome. I even thanked Kirk in my notes because I was starting to get concerned. You know, he was doing amazing in the rest of the albums. But he came back. He came back for sure with this solo. I really liked it, was really pleasantly surprised. Then we get a shortened third chorus into a sort of modified version of the post-chorus or intro. Sorry, yeah, the intro. Shortened verse 3, and then a fourth chorus. The structure gets really complicated, but I really like the ending. It's kind of like a modified version of the chorus, kind of escalating and with the pace increasing. James talking about betrayal. Yeah, I like the ending. I said the song overstayed its welcome a tiny bit because the structure, yes, it was getting complex, but not in a way that changed things up too much. It was just more parts that I'd already heard 3 times. So the song overstayed its welcome a little bit, but I really liked the song. And I really liked the solo and everything, so like thumbs up again. And then we get into My Friend of Misery, with its really iconic bass intro, Of course, as you guys know, the song was supposed to be an instrumental, or Jason Newsted kind of envisioned it as an instrumental, and then it didn't end up being one. But you can feel that sort of energy in the bass line, because it stands on its own, nothing else needed. Really kind of sad, melancholic, I don't know, bass line to start things off, and I really like that. I feel like a lot of people really do, and it's a highlight for many people. Maybe not a highlight of the album, but something you remember, right? Especially if you're a fan, it's something that Jason wrote. Basically, I really like it. Let me drink some water. And yeah, what's cool is, I may be overanalyzing this too, but there's some nice power chords over that iconic bass little part, and it's almost like the bass and the guitars kind of switch roles, anyways, not really. Anyways, I really like that little thing. And the guitars start teasing the verse riff, doing stuff like kind of giving it some time to breathe, again, teasing it basically. It's quite melodic, with the bass thing in the background. Into the verse, which once the verse actually comes in, it's really some headbang material, emotional headbang material, I would say. The vocals really help, they're beautiful. I don't know what the lyrics are about, but they sound interesting. I think it starts with "you just stood there screaming." I don't know if that's the first verse or the second one, but I like those words. There's also some backing vocals. The vocals are really good in this. The drums are also nice, and yeah, basically thanks to the drums, thanks to the guitars, whatever you want, when the main riff comes in, it's real headbang material, and it's something like I really like that riff. I don't know if what I played was what plays before the verse, or it's either right before or during. Anyways, basically I really like that whole riff, and I like how they take this little inverted power chord shape and then kind of play it really quickly before going onto this, which seems like a theme in this album. They did it in another part, and they did it in Don't Tread on Me, where it was like right, so it's the opposite this time. But anyways, it's a nice touch. Let's see. I didn't like the pre-chorus at all, actually, and I didn't like the chorus. I don't know, it just feels like, and maybe this is just, me overthinking stuff, but it just feels like those riffs weren't sort of, I don't know, basically they just don't fit for me. They just change the mood completely. While the riff that I played previously kind of complements the mood, the other ones kind of change it, and not in the best way for me. So I really didn't like the pre-chorus and chorus. I even said hate in my notes, but maybe that's a little much, but still, I didn't like them. The second verse is nice. I'm really savoring the verses because I really like those. Again, headbanging. Hearing the pre-chorus and chorus for a second time didn't change my opinion at all. I don't like those at all. I would change them if I were the producer. But nonetheless, the bridge kind of brings us down. Again, it's only bass playing that part that played in the intro. It's quiet except for the bass. There's some like guitar swells by Kirk, I guess, which fit really nicely, like complement the riff or the bass line. And that kind of builds up into a very interesting clean section from the guitars, which fits again. And then, just builds up and up and up into a very, very beautiful solo, which really complements the mood over the verse riff. I think, really complements the mood. The guitar doesn't sound... There's some effect put on the guitar, but it works. It's not too much. It works. The mood is there. I really like it. I really like that part of the song. I wait for it. So good stuff. Let's see. Then there's a second section of the solo over the chorus riff, which I didn't like as much. There was a bit too much wah for my taste, and it wasn't melodic like the first section. But that's okay. The first section was so good, I'm willing to forgive that. We get into another chorus, which I was really tired of by this point. But there's some nice lead guitar work to kind of change things up, and some different vocals, which is nice. I love the change. There's like a little drum change at that point, which I really liked, into another pretty good solo. So most of the solos on this song are nice. That second section didn't last too long. And then there's another riff with another solo. Kirk is doing even better. Nice drums. And then another solo section of the chorus, which feels a lot more inspired to me. It just feels more like it fits. And that's the ending. So very interesting song. Like, it feels very inspired as a whole. I didn't like the chorus and pre-chorus at all, but the rest was very interesting to me and pretty heavy, and they all did a good job. So, and of course I didn't like the second section of the first solo, but that's okay. We'll get over it. Overall, it's a nice song. Like, I like it quite a bit, and an interesting one. And yeah, then we get into the struggle within. Did I throw that pick at my guitar? Okay, no, wait, did I? Oh no, it's there. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we get into the struggle within, which starts with some marching band drums, which is interesting. I may have gotten this intro mixed up with the Don't Tread on Me intro, but it's too late now, so. But yeah, the intro is interesting, quite melodic actually. Into the verse, which I love how the verse comes in. Here, let me actually. I don't know the riff, but I love how it comes in. Like, the melodic marching band part kind of ends, and then it's like. Right, I like that little touch, and then the vocals help a lot. You're like, whoa, okay. Now we're getting into the song. And the way the drums come in and the verse like properly starts is real headbang material. It's a fast song. Really interesting and melodic pre-chorus. And then I really like the vocals in the chorus. I guess there's some backing vocals and some vocal harmonies, which is really cool. Post-chorus is the same as the pre-chorus, really nice. I really like the melody there, the sort of guitar harmony. Again, verse 2, more headbanging, fast pace, same stuff, pre-chorus and chorus, and I think post-chorus even. Yeah, and there's a really cool transition from the post-chorus to the solo, which is not my favorite solo, but I gotta say it's fast and energetic, and it gets the job done. And it manages to be melodic in some parts once it slows down and then becomes quick again. I like that little dynamic. I didn't like the first part of the solo, but it gets better as it goes along. Oh man, yeah, really nice touch. James kind of says, go, and then there's an awesome bridge riff. Real headbang material. Then verse 3, pre-chorus 3, I think chorus 3 as well. And then a really nice ending. Very, very, very typical Metallica ending where it's like fast, 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 and then like boom, done. It always leaves you wanting more. And it worked. This is a really nice song. Yeah, like an interesting one for sure, but it got the job done. So yeah, quite a journey, because there's like 4 more songs than your typical Metallica album. Felt weird to review this one, as I said, but yeah. It's an interesting album. It's got so many different moods. The production is really good, obviously. It starts off not the best at all for me. But once we get into Holier Than Thou, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, those are 3 like bangers for me. So that was a really good combination to have. Don't Tread on Me and Through the Never. Did I like the solo in either of those? Let me see here. I don't remember. Yeah, I like the solo in Don't Tread on Me. I didn't love the solo in Through the Never. So like those songs, let's say like Holier Than Thou, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, and Don't Tread on Me are all a really good combo. Then once we get into Through the Never and Nothing Else Matters, it's especially in Nothing Else Matters, the pace or my happiness basically just starts going down a little bit. Starts going back up again with A Wolf and Man, even more with The God That Failed and My Friend of Misery, and The Struggle Within. So it's got some peaks and valleys basically. I'd say the last part of the album after Nothing Else Matters is the most interesting part. I like those 4 songs. They're all very different and interesting. It's an interesting album because it's got hits sprinkled on it, which have a very different vibe to those seemingly very creatively experimental songs. It just sounds so different from anything else Metallica had ever done to this point. Yes, they're heavy. Yes, they're fast. Yes, they've got solos, but the atmospheres are really different, This album has some really good lyrics, some really good vocals, good calm, well-placed drums. And when it's not cheesy, to me, of course, when it's not cheesy, it's really interesting. Kirk felt a little bit lacking on this, unfortunately. In terms of riffs, the only riffs that I really didn't like, apart from the ones that were cheesy, I'm not even counting those songs, to be honest. The riffs that I didn't like were pretty much the struggle or the My Friend of Misery ones that I mentioned, but the rest I liked. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the cheesy parts of this album, I would just take out. Yes, Sad But True has a part that I really like, but it's not worth it for me. It wouldn't be worth it. I would still take that stuff out. So like Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True, and Sandman. What we're left with is really, they're all interesting songs. some of them heavier than others. But yeah, interesting work. Basically, it's an interesting album. I don't dislike it. I dislike the cheesy songs. I don't dislike it. I don't like it nearly as much as Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, or And Justice for All. Those are, real classics. Maybe Ride the Lightning is a bit of a lull, but I would definitely play those over this album any day of the week. But this still isn't a bad album. It has some really good moments and some songs that I would love to keep listening to, I would definitely go back to. So that's pretty much my opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree or whatever. Let me know anything you want to let me know. The comments are your playground. I hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching and stuff, taking the time out every day. I appreciate your passion for the music and everything. You must be really passionate if you've listened to this insane man rambling. But yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Have a nice day.